Have you ever felt like you're swinging harder but hitting it shorter? Or maybe you've just accepted that you're not a long hitter. It's either something you're born with or not. I used to think that way too, but over the last 10 years, I've completely changed my mind and my swing speed. In this video, I'm gonna break down how you can increase your swing speed in a safe, effective, and lasting way, most importantly, without ruining your golf swing. Hi, my name is Jon Sherman, and I'm the author of The 4 Foundations of Golf, and on this channel, I am teaching you how to play this game. So, why should you think about getting faster? When I was growing up as a junior golfer, nobody was talking about swing speed. It was either something you were born with, and if you weren't, then you're just out of luck. Also, we didn't quite understand the value of distance. It was a bit of an afterthought at that point. But we now know that getting closer to the hole is worth considerable strokes. Obviously, we see this at the tour level. Almost every pro golfer is doing some type of physical training to get faster. Tiger was a bit of an outlier in this regard, and he caught the tour off guard. But now if you're trying to play golf for a living, you have to take care of your body. A lot of everyday golfers still scoff at distance. They think it's just a tour thing still. But the truth is that it's even more valuable for you and me. Distance is statistically worth more strokes for someone who hits their drives 220 yards versus someone who can already hit it 300. So I now think of swing speed as a skill, no different than your wedge distance control or your ability to start putts online or strike the center of the face on your irons. There are so many tried and true methods to improve your swing speed, which I'm going to go over in this video. But if you're a golfer who wants to find ways to lower their scores, it can be a massive low-hanging fruit if you're willing to devote some time. And the best thing is a lot of these workouts can be done at home and don't require access to a golf course. If you can increase your swing speed the right way, you're gonna do the following things. You're gonna hit longer drives and have shorter clubs into greens. That means more greens in regulation and stress-free pars. Who doesn't want that? You'll be able to hit higher iron shots with more stopping power. Additionally, you'll be able to get the ball out of tough lies in the rough. But I think the most important thing is that swing speed shows up every single day. If you do the training right, it's not gonna disappear from one round to the next. And I believe this is really one of its main advantages and why you should consider it. But I know a lot of golfers are still skeptical about adding swing speed, so I'm going to address some myths. The methods I'm going to discuss in this video will not destroy your golf swing. If anything, I think they can improve it. Of course, there's a risk when you introduce any type of change into your golf game. Whether you're taking lessons, getting new clubs, there's no guarantee that you're going to get better. That's just one of the truths about this game. But there's also a risk in doing nothing too. As we age, our body is going to deteriorate and we're gonna get slower. That means you're gonna have longer clubs into greens and scoring becomes harder. Additionally, another myth I want to address is that you don't need fancy workouts or massive amounts of times to do this. Covering the basics and more importantly, being consistent over time is going to get the job done for most of you. Everyone has the ability to make modest gains in this area, and that's about 4 to 8 miles per hour. But I've seen some people make jumps over 10 miles an hour or even more. Now, personally, I am not built for speed. I'm 5'8", I have short arms and short legs, and it comes harder for me. In my 30s, I started to notice that my distance was going in the wrong direction. My swing speed with my driver was going down to about the 100 to 103 mile per hour range. Now I'm almost 42 years old and my speed is up to 108 to 110 miles an hour. And I don't see any reason why I can't stick at this level for a long time or even make gains. And I've learned a ton from some of the top minds in this area like Dr. Sasho McKenzie, Dr. Greg Rose, Mike Carroll, John Novosel Jr., and Alex Ellert, which I'll be sharing. Now, not all of them agree, but there are some commonalities in their advice. I've also done all of these methods, so I'll add some anecdotal information to this discussion just to give it a little bit more color. So there's 3 main categories that I'm going to cover in this video. Number 1 is strength training. Number 2 is what I call getting after it. And the last topic is your ability to move your body properly and the technique of your swing as it relates to your swing speed potential. I'm going to start with weight training because with everything I've learned, I believe this is the best foundation for more swing speed and more importantly, longer lasting gains. Additionally, there's so many other advantages to weight training like injury prevention and just having more control over your golf swing. Plus the health benefits of resistance training are so profound that doctors should be literally prescribing it. I could do a whole other video on the numerous studies that are out there about how good weightlifting is for you. If I had my way, every golfer would be doing 2 to 3 full body strength training sessions a week. I just believe it's an incredibly efficient use of time. So you have to think of your muscle strength as your engine. The stronger you are, the more force you have available to transfer to the golf club. Additionally, more strength allows your nervous system to recruit more muscle fibers, especially the fast twitch muscle you need for speed. Now, the sad truth is that none of us can avoid is once you start reaching 30 and 40 years old, your body is starting to deteriorate. And as I said earlier, I felt this happening to me when I watched my swing speed decrease in my 30s. But as I got more dedicated to weight training, especially when I wasn't skipping leg day, I saw all of the other work that I was doing have more effect. So as we age, getting stronger is arguably the best way to fight off the natural decline of muscle mass and clubhead speed. But that's not all. A stronger body helps tolerate the demands of faster, more explosive movements, so you're not going to get injured as much. There's also this myth that lifting weights will make you tighter, but it's actually quite the opposite. Training full motion movements like squats and deadlifts actually improves your flexibility and your range of motion. My lower back used to be so tight, and every morning I would strain to put on my socks, but now I can touch my toes no problem and feel more mobile than ever thanks to weight training. So really, lifting weights is actually good mobility work in disguise. You're getting two benefits out of one activity. Now, there are some caveats that you should be aware of. For some, increasing strength alone will not boost swing speed. Think of it as increasing your potential to swing faster, but some golfers must still train explosively to realize that potential. And if you lift weights slowly, that can also limit your potential. There are plenty of ways to increase your speed when lifting weights and moving fast with intent. For example, if I'm doing a deadlift, I can kind of snap back up quickly and use the ground to kind of explode upwards as I'm doing the movement. For me, increasing my strength helped unlock a lot of dormant speed that I wasn't maximizing with some of the other methods that I'm going to get into. Generally speaking, if you plateau elsewhere in your swing speed training, getting stronger is going to get you over that hump. Now, a lot of golfers get really overwhelmed with strength training and they don't know where to start. First off, you don't need to do anything fancy. All those complex moves you see on YouTube and Instagram where people are mimicking the golf swing, they're mostly a waste of time and won't move the needle. They can even hurt you. Mike Carroll from Fit for Golf puts it best. Stick with the following 5 movements: squat, hinge, push, pull, and rotate. If you got yourself a set of dumbbells and resistance bands and did the following exercises like squats, lunges, deadlifts, chest press, back rows, shoulder presses, bicep curls, and some other basic movements, and simply add weight over time, you're gonna see profound results. And the best part is that you really don't need to spend more than 20 to 30 minutes several times a week to start seeing progress. All right, so that's my big sales pitch on weight training. Let's move on to the second part, which I call getting after it. So strength builds potential, but moving faster unlocks that potential. Simply put, you have to start moving your body much quicker than what you're used to. You have to move fast with intent. And you've got a few options here that I'm going to cover. Just to be clear, you don't need to do all of these. It can be overwhelming for beginners. I'll start with the easiest method that's accessible to everyone. That is just swinging your driver at ludicrous speed. There's a lot of debate in the golf world on whether players should be hitting a ball or not when doing speed training, but honestly, this method should be helpful to almost everyone. So at the end of your practice sessions, especially when you are fully warmed up, take some time to hit 5 to 10 balls with max intent with your driver. You're not going to strike it as well, and you really don't need to worry about it that much. The goal is to start getting your body comfortable moving past what feels normal. Think of it as removing the regulator on the golf cart. Now, with any speed training, feedback is absolutely critical. It might be one of the most important parts of the training. If you're serious about doing this, I would highly recommend getting a launch monitor radar like the PRGR. It's going to accurately track your swing speed with any method that you're doing and give you good numbers on distance and ball speed, which are also really important to know. So what you want to do is keep track of your normal swing speed and, more importantly, how fast you can go when you really start to ramp up your intention. That way you have a baseline to measure how your stock swing speed is hopefully moving faster as you're progressing through your training over the weeks and months. Another hugely popular method that most of you know about and boosted my swing is working with a training system like SuperSpeed Golf or The Stack. This is where you're taking shafts with different weights and swinging them with max intent. It's hard for me to pick one of these systems. I've used them both, and they have really effective training methods that have helped thousands and thousands of golfers move faster. But I think the real benefit of this training is that it helps your body organized to increase your swing speed. A lot of golfers are going to improve their sequencing, how they use the ground, load more efficiently in their backswing, and overall just move more athletically. I did this training for several years and it did immediately boost my swing speed, but I will address a few caveats. A lot of players are going to see quick gains and then they hit a wall. This happened to me. They might get frustrated and give up on this after a few months. That is pretty typical with any new training method. Now for me, I needed to add strength, particularly in my lower body, to continue my speed increases. I was deficient there. Now I would also stress the importance of hitting real balls into some of these sessions so that you can transfer this training over to your actual golf swing. This is really important. Personally, I never found any deterioration in my golf swing when I did this training, but for some, it might lead to different patterns that you might not feel comfortable with. Additionally, with any physical activity, there is an injury risk, and I cannot emphasize how important it is to warm your body up properly before doing these exercises, and that's kind of a recurring theme for all speed training. And of course, if you have any kind of health limitations, consult with your doctor or your trainer as well. I don't want anybody getting hurt. But overall, I think if you do this type of overspeed training, you're gonna see a nice boost in your swing speed, and it's a great option. Now, last but not least in this section are explosive movements. This is where you're taking a medicine ball and slamming it into the ground or a concrete wall. Do not do this into drywall. I don't want you getting holes in your house. So this is training rotational explosiveness, which is extremely specific and helpful to your golf swing. You can also do jump training, which is a mixture of vertical and horizontal jumps, which helps you with your ground reaction forces, which is also important for speed. So these rotational or jumping exercises are critical for club head speed and preserving your fast twitch fibers over the long run. I think Mike Carroll from Fit for Golf has done an awesome job incorporating some of these exercises into his app, along with the weight training and other movements I'm discussing in this video. I know a ton of golfers get overwhelmed and confused, and that's why they don't even start in the first place. But when it comes to this training, I really do recommend his app because he spent years making it really simple and effective. So whether you're doing weight training, mobility work, explosive training, he has programs that are easy to follow and more importantly, track. I've got a link in the description that will give you a discount. And honestly, this is my top recommendation for any golfer looking to add speed to their game. I've used it myself for years. Now, I just want to reiterate a point I made earlier. If you did any of these methods, whether it's swinging your driver really fast, an overspeed training system, or the explosive movements, you're likely going to see an increase in your club head speed initially. But to tie in the strength training element of it, you won't maximize that speed potential if you don't have the strength to keep generating more force. So the two do work together. I know not everyone is going to have the time to do both, but that's kind of the tug of war between the two that you should be aware of if you're interested in this type of training. So for me, I initially started with the explosive movements with a system like SuperSpeed Golf, but again, I plateaued and I had to rely more on lifting weights to get me over that hump. All right, now let's cover the final category that I think is important to understand, which is technical upgrades in your swing and your overall range of motion. A lot of golfers have very limited mobility. They have tight hips, they can't make a full shoulder turn, and they have limitations in their spine. This comes from aging, sitting at a desk all day, and many other reasons. And when you have these limitations, it can prevent you from getting into the positions necessary to generate enough speed. So doing some mobility exercises where you're moving your joints through a full range of motion can help unlock these positions and therefore generate more speed. Keep in mind that this is not the same as static stretching. The fitness world has kind of gone away from that, especially in golf. I've added a mobility routine that I follow almost every morning that works on my hips, thoracic spine, and several other areas. And it's helped me feel a lot looser and ready to play golf, and it's just good for life in general as you age. Like the other exercises I've discussed, there are some things you should understand. So if you only did mobility work and nothing else, it likely is not going to move the needle that much for swing speed. However, if you combine mobility work with explosiveness training, it can help you unlock more speed, especially if you had some pre-existing limitations on your range of motion. But as I said earlier, if you are doing bread and butter strength training movements, This is also great mobility work. You're gonna be moving your body through a full range of motion under tension. Either way, doing mobility for 5 to 10 minutes a day or 3 or 4 times a week is gonna help your body in general, and it's just a great habit to form. And last but not least, I wanna talk about making technical changes to your golf swing. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time here because this is a really complex topic that could take hours to explain, but a lot of golfers can unlock speed by making some technical changes to their swing. This could be through better sequencing, making a bigger shoulder turn, or using the ground more effectively. There's a ton of golfers out there who already have the potential for speed, and working with an instructor who is well versed in swing speed can definitely help here. So I don't want to overlook that either, that working on your golf swing can increase your swing speed without doing any of the methods I discussed. All right, so I've thrown a lot of information at you over the last 10+ minutes, and hopefully you now know that you have multiple options to increase your club head speed. I've mentioned weight training, various ways to move your body very quickly, like overspeed training, and simply swinging your driver as fast as possible. And you also have the option to work on your mobility and even your golf swing. No matter how old you are or how long you've played golf, you could do these at your own level and see progress. But I cannot stress enough that you should start slowly and only maybe pick 1 or 2 of these methods at first. If you do too much too quickly, you're likely going to hurt yourself, and then you're stuck on the sidelines for a month or 2, or even worse. Also, feedback is incredibly crucial. Keep track of your swing speed and your progress so you can see when you're plateauing and if it makes sense to change courses to another training method. As I said, using a launch monitor like the PRGR will help keep track of your swing speed, but more importantly, ball speed, which is really a measure of how efficiently you transfer club head speed to actual distance. This is obviously a very complex topic, and I definitely did not cover everything in this video, but I want people to try and keep it as simple as possible, or else you're probably gonna give up, and that's another reason why I've always recommended the Fit for Golf app. Mike's done a great job over the years simplifying his programs and making them easy to follow. The PGA Tour player I coach, Mackenzie Hughes, works with Mike and uses the app along with plenty of other players on tour. So whether you're a beginner or a PGA Tour player, there are programs for you. But I think if you take all of these methods seriously, you're gonna see progress on the course. It's a lot of fun to hit the ball farther and shoot lower scores. I've enjoyed it over the last decade. And I think more importantly is that all of these methods are going to improve your health and quality of life. I legitimately feel younger as I age because I've stuck with many of these methods, and if it wasn't for golf, I wouldn't have done them so vigorously. So I hope some of the ideas in this video have inspired you to start on this journey if you think it's right for you. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments section and I'll do my best to answer them. And don't miss my last video where I show you how to win more money off your friends in match play.